All right, well, one of the companies participating in the industry summit is Westinghouse Electric. CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg spoke with President and CEO Danny Roderick. He began by asking Roderick about the future of his company in China.
I don't think there's anyone in the world that will doubt that China is the largest single commercial nuclear power market in the world right now. And we have the 4 units under construction already in China. And we have a series that's coming right behind them. And the first one at Sanmen will be online over the next 6 to 9 months. And so it's a very exciting time for us because the AP1000 is widely recognized as the most advanced technology in the world, and we'll deploy it first in China.
The first AP1000 project was supposed to be finished in 2013. It's now behind schedule, and one of the criticisms that Westinghouse has faced is that you simply need to build quicker to compete in China. What's your response to that?
You know, I think we accept that. I would say that we have worked very hard. When you have a new design like this, a state-of-the-art, we had some supplier issues with a few of our suppliers on a couple key pieces of equipment. We also had some learnings to go through with the localization because most of the parts of this plant were made in China. And so we're going to get that construction duration perfected now because we have a great supply chain that's well established and mature now. We have a completed design that's been approved by the regulator. We've already built it. And so now we're going into what I call the fruition of the economic benefit. And we're really focusing on getting that construction duration down to 36 months. I think we need to be able to show that our plants are going to be built and can be built with Chinese equipment and built with Chinese labor and can be built cost effectively.
Given how long it takes to build nuclear plants, even with the shortened time and the changing conditions in the nuclear industry, do you think nuclear power is really an economic choice?
You know, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's for those who actually have a long-term strategy. You know, a nuclear power plant is with you for 60 years of operation. Whereas, you know, a wind turbine you might have to replace every 10 years, a solar panel you might have to replace every 10 or 15 years. So this is a generational commitment for that plant. And we know that these plants are good for 60 years or longer, but we qualified them as a starting point for 60 years. When you look at the 60-year period, okay, there's nothing that can compete with the stability of uranium as the fuel source for taking out all the volatilities and surprises that can happen. We happen in the U.S. right now to be in a very low gas market. But it was just 8 to 10 years ago that gas was trading 4 times higher and everybody wanted nuclear power, right? And so for those who have a long-term strategy, they look at the average cost of nuclear over that 60 years versus the volatility of gas or the unavailability of coal. And that is where we really have the benefit of our plant. But you have to look at things from a long-sighted, and I think that is one thing that the Chinese government has done very well, is they have put together a very long-sighted view of nuclear power, saying they're going to build somewhere around 200 units. And that's about twice as many as the U.S. built. And so it's going to be a good part of the diverse portfolio in China. It's not a single source solution, but it is one that I think will help the environmental conditions and energy stability and security in China. And so I still see it as a very positive choice for China.
You have quite a long-term outlook, and you've been in this industry for 30 years. What are the challenges you see facing the nuclear industry in the future?
We are a very self-critical industry. We fall on our sword very quickly and take fault. We talk about things, and that's a good side of us because it forces improvement. The bad side is we talk so much about that we don't talk enough about the fact that, like in the United States, that 1 of every 5 people get all of their electricity from nuclear power. And that 67% of all the clean energy in the United States comes from that 20% source. And that if you like clean air in the United States, it's a direct result of nuclear power, not an indirect result. And so as we try to evolve into this industry, even though we're a very mature industry technically, we are not a really mature industry in selling our story. Had we not built nuclear, we would be running coal, which would be polluting. You'd have increase in health effects, And these are all documented scientific things. We just don't say our story as well as we should.
Danny Roderick, CEO of Westinghouse, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.